because students from different countries, they have their own particular language needs. So not everybody will find the IELTS exam in the same way. They won't find it as easy, for example. So because myself and my team of teachers have been teaching students from Brazil, from Kuwait, from Spain, from Italy, from all over the world, from China, from Japan, etc., we know the challenges the students face in every type of language. So we can design the course to meet those needs immediately. That's one of the things that we are very strong at. The second thing is that all of our teachers are CLT qualified. That is the highest level of EFL qualification that you can get for teaching English. So that means that you will have native teachers, British teachers, CLT qualified, who have many years of IELTS experience. So those things mean you will progress much faster with us in the IELTS.
Oke, so Mr. Edi tadi bilang kalau mereka ini udah lama ya guys, berpengalaman banget ngajar IELTS ya. Dan karena Mr. Edi tadi udah sebutkan ya, mengajar ada yang dari Brazil, dari Jepang, dari Spain, yang mana tim beliau ini tahu gitu, challenge yang dihadapi oleh student dari berbagai negara tuh apa gitu. Nah, kemudian particular needs-nya apa, dan juga challenge-nya apa. Nah, yang mana itu jarang orang-orang bisa ngajarin. Dan yang paling penting, kualifikasinya tadi highest level karena native teacher. Jadi bayangin teman-teman nanti belajar IELTS itu sama native, yang mana teman-teman tuh udah kayak mock up test langsung. Kita kan kalau IELTS test di Indonesia kan itu kan orang Indonesia ya yang sorry tutornya kan orang Indonesia. Nah ini native langsung, yang itu mirip banget nanti dengan real testnya seperti itu.
Okay, so our school, we run courses here face to face here in Manchester in the UK. I don't know if any of you guys have ever visited Manchester or the UK, but we run courses here in the school and we also run courses online. So the online courses are designed for beginners and also for people who have experience of English. When you start with us, we send you a placement test to see your level of English and we get the result and then we put you in the correct online IELTS group. So we will have IELTS courses for beginner students. We'll have IELTS courses for intermediate students as well. All right. So anybody with any ability, beginner or not, we will teach them online IELTS. How long does it take to progress in IELTS? What mark do you need? That is another question. Over to you, Benjamin.
Oke, so jadi Mr. Edi ini punya kelas offline ya guys di Manchester di UK, tapi juga ada yang online. Nah, yang online ini tadi dari beginner sampai advance atau IELTS. Nah, jadi teman-teman gak usah khawatir, misal teman-teman bingung nih levelnya di mana. Nah, nanti teman-teman bisa placement test dulu. Nanti mulai dari beginner, intermediate, advance, bahkan sampai ke level IELTS. Nah, jadi dan itu kelasnya juga bisa online ya. Nah, seberapa lama nanti akan dijelaskan oleh Mr. Edi setelah ini.
Okay, so then the question is, how is IELTS marked? What mark do you need to get? IELTS begins at 0 and it goes to level 9. And depending on the job or the school or the university you will go to in the future, the course you will go to, you may need to achieve a 6, a 7, an 8, 8.5, or 9. It depends on the purpose why you need it, okay? But it is very good to have a high IELTS result because it allows you to do many things afterwards in the English speaking world. So, for example, if you were to apply to a job outside of Indonesia with English required, then the IELTS will be the appropriate certificate to have. A lot of universities in England, if you want to study here, they would ask you for IELTS 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8 depending on the course. For example, if someone studies dentistry, they may need a higher level than somebody who is studying another course. Back to you.
Oke, nah jadi teman-teman berapa sih nilai IELTS itu dari 0 sampai 9. Nah, jadi dari di sini nanti itu bisa membantu teman-teman di angka 6, 7, 8 dan 9. Nah, jadi tergantung tujuannya, purpose-nya teman-teman apa, kenapa kalian perlu gitu loh nilai tersebut. Contohnya kayak 6,5, kenapa butuh 6, kenapa butuh 7. Dan tadi Mr. Edi bilang, banyak kampus di UK itu yang membutuhkan nilai IELTS-nya itu 6,5, 7, 7,5, 8 dan sebagainya. Dan ternyata Mr. Edi bilang, kalau teman-teman punya nilai IELTS yang tinggi, itu berkesempatan jauh untuk studi di luar negeri dan juga kerja. Nah, jadi semakin tinggi IELTS teman-teman, itu semakin bagus seperti itu.
Okay, thank you. So the IELTS paper itself, the exam itself, how difficult is the exam? The exam is difficult, okay? They don't give you a lot of time. One of the biggest challenges is the time. You have little time to read many texts, to write many pieces, okay? They are looking at your writing, not just one type of writing and understanding, but many types of writing and understanding. They will ask you, for example, to read a long text quickly and to find the information that you need as quickly as possible. They will give you a diagram or a photograph of something like instructions or operations. How does a machine work? How does a process work? They will give you a diagram or a map or a picture, and they will ask you to explain what you see using technical English language. Okay? There is also a part of the exam where they will ask you to express your opinion in an essay form. So, for example, they will ask you about a topic. What is your opinion of globalization? Is it good or bad for young people today? They might ask you about social media. Do you think social media is a negative or a positive for young people today? You will have to formulate an essay, express your opinion clearly, just like they would do here in any school or university. Now, there is also a listing component. And again, the listing, there is a few parts to the listing with some different accents. And they want to see, can you understand regular English, but can you also understand some technical English? And they want to see, if you don't understand, can you still manage to communicate? If you don't understand every word, can you still manage to get the information from the text? So they're not just testing the knowledge that you have of English, they're testing how do you manage if you don't understand something. Because all of those things are important when you move to a country, when you work in a new job, when you apply to a new university. Nobody is expecting you to have 100% knowledge in the test. To get a result like a 5 or a 6 in IELTS is a very good result. It's not an easy exam. To get a higher than that, like a 7 or an 8, is a challenge. It's difficult and it takes some time. So the reason why I think the online courses work is because you get continual support week after week. We break down the exam into pieces: the writing, how do we work on that, the speaking, the listening, etc. Back to you, Rian.
Oke, so Mr. Edi tadi bilang seberapa sulit sih IELTS itu? Nah, jadi examnya seberapa sulit itu sulit banget guys, difficult. Nah, biggest challenge-nya itu karena waktunya dikit. Mungkin teman-teman udah pada tahu ya, listening cuma 20 menit sekian, reading berapa menit gitu. Nah, banyak tipe-tipe yang harus teman-teman pahami, matter of understanding. Dan banyak juga diagramnya, ada banyak fotografnya. Bahkan tadi teman-teman nanti dikasih passage itu tentang mesin biasanya. Contohnya kayak mesin ini fungsinya buat apa, kemudian bagian mana yang berfungsi semisal. Nah, jadi ada bagian-bagian mesin yang teman-teman harus jelaskan. Kemudian tadi disebutkan juga oleh Miss Adi, express your opinion. Nah, berarti teman-teman nulis essay, ini yang writing ya. Nah, yang mana teman-teman harus nulis opini teman-teman. Contohnya topik tadi globalisasi semisal. Apa pendapat teman-teman dengan globalisasi? Kemudian sosial media semisal. Nah, sosial media untuk young generation atau anak muda itu apakah positif atau negatif? Nah, itu di writing sama speaking keluar semua itu. Masuk ke listening komponen. Nah, itu ada aksen yang berbeda, different accents. Nah, jadi kalau teman-teman nggak paham, itu teman-teman diuji bisa nggak sih tetap memahami informasinya gitu loh. Jadi bukan masalah kita pintar atau enggak, tapi gimana teman-teman bisa nangkap information yang teman-teman dapatkan. Jadi not only about English, but also about how you manage the understanding. Jadi nggak cuma tentang bahasa Inggris guys, tapi teman-teman bisa memanage pemahamannya nggak sih? Dan contohnya tadi Mr. Edi bilang, teman-teman kalau kerja di sebuah negara, itu nggak cuma bahasa Inggris yang diujikan, tapi juga pengetahuan teman-teman. Contohnya ya tadi, kalau teman-teman kerja di tempat orang, dia nggak akan nanya nilai kalian berapa di IELTS-nya, tapi pengetahuan teman-teman. Makanya IELTS itu menguji cara teman-teman memahami sebuah passage atau sebuah conversation. Nah, kenapa online course? Karena kelas online ini berketerusan ya guys, continual courses. Jadi teman-teman akan disupport minggu demi minggu. Jadi akan cek gitu, dikasih feedback nanti, oh kamu kurangnya ini, kamu harus latihan ini, dan itu sekali lagi yang ngisi langsung dari UK, from Manchester, native speaker. Jadi itu akan memberikan teman-teman rasa aman, karena nanti kalau real test itu orang luar negeri langsung ya, jadi teman-teman nggak gugup seperti itu.
Okay, so how long does it take somebody to succeed at IELTS? Well, it depends. If you're a beginner, you will need some time to achieve a higher result in IELTS. It can take a year to work on it if you are working consistently. If you are already speaking and practicing English and you are intermediate, then it could take perhaps half that time, 6 months, to get a higher score. If you want to get a top score, you would need probably 18 months to 2 years of study to get a 9 out of 9. They do not give 9 out of 9 very often. But as I said, if you need a high score between 6 months and 1 year, depending on whether you are a beginner or you have intermediate knowledge. Back to you, Benoit.
Oke, sorry. Jadi
That's okay,
teman-teman,
yeah.
oke, sorry. Jadi teman-teman, kalau beginner, kalau teman-teman masih pemula, itu makan waktu 1 tahun. Tapi kalau teman-teman intermediate, udah punya lingkungan belajar yang bagus, itu butuh 6 bulan. Tapi kalau teman-teman itu masih pemula gitu ya, kayaknya butuh waktu lama gitu. Tapi kalau mau ke angka 9 ya, yang mana kata Mr. Edi tadi, 9 itu jarang guys, very rare. Nah itu bisa sampai 18 bulan, sampai 2 tahun ya. Nah jadi biasanya orang-orang itu yang diincar cuma nilai 6-7, realistisnya seperti itu. Okay, back to you, Edi.
Okay, thank you. So, what else do we have to say about it? So, the course that we're running, we offer a special price for Indonesian students. We do not charge the same to every country. We try to be fair and to offer a price that is fair according to the economic situation in every country. So, we're offering a special price for Indonesia, but we're also giving a discount for everybody who comes to us through English Banua and Rian. They will get a special discount after when they apply. How do they do that discount? We have a special code that we will share, and you guys, if you apply for the online classes, you enter the code and the discount will be applied at that point. So that's the point on how the next step of it, Benoit.
Oke, jadi teman-teman, khusus untuk orang-orang Indonesia, seperti Mr. Editor bilang, itu nggak semua negara dapat ya. Jadi fair, jadi khusus orang Indonesia, karena kita kerjasama ya dengan English Banua, jadi Express English College itu akan mengasih diskon. Caranya gimana? Nanti kalau teman-teman mendaftar, nanti masukin kode, nanti akan saya share di grup, teman-teman masukin kodenya, nanti itu akan dapat special diskon. Jadi ada potongan harga, yang mungkin semisal harganya sekian juta, nanti ada potongan harganya. Nah, nanti teknisnya seperti apa, nanti akan dijelaskan oleh Mr. Andy. Oke.
All right, so we've shared some information about the online courses. Rian, I think you've shared the links already about the online courses. Is that true?
Actually, I haven't shared it. Should I share it right now, or?
Yeah, why not? Share it right now
Okay.
while you have it there, so that
Okay.
people can take it home. The link, you have the information available in different languages as well.
Okay, let me share it first. Wait a minute. The link is okay. Wait a minute.
Yeah, take your time.
Okay.
It's nice to see so many faces here today. Lots of young students as well. Yeah.
Actually, there are so many Indonesian people that they are really enthusiastic to learn IELTS, but there are lack of resources. That's why I think it will be a good idea if we make a collaboration for this.
Okay.
Okay, this one. Let me share it to the group. EEC English, and then free. Okay, let me share to the other group.
Sure.
Because I have 3 groups actually.
You have a lot of groups to think of.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the link. Thank you for that. That's the online link in the group. Okay.
Sure. My pleasure. Okay, let me share it. The third group. Wait a minute. Where is it? This is it. Okay, I already shared it.
All right, brilliant, great. So, guys, you have the link for the online courses in the WhatsApp, and I will also put it here in the. Let me see. Can I put it? It's not coming on.
Yeah, in the comment.
Is it? Have you put it in the comment? It's not going on for me for some reason. Okay, so you have it in the WhatsApp group, and Rian will share it in the Zoom chat as well. So at this stage, let's take some questions. If you have any questions about IELTS, about Manchester, about myself, about anything you like, feel free to ask.
Oke, mungkin teman-teman kalau ada yang mau nanya, silahkan.
The link is in the chat as well, so have a look. There are some questions in here in English, so I'm going to answer those.
Okay, sure.
Cecilia said, "Slow down, Mister." Sorry if I was talking too fast, Cecilia. I hope that you understood most of what we were talking about. You have. I'm going to kill the pronunciation. Kazainul Muna said, "Why is the IELTS test expensive, and what makes it expensive?" So the IELTS test, yes, it's a company. They are making money from this test, and it recognized all over the world because it is such an internationally recognized certificate. Because you can go to every country in the world with it, they do charge a lot for the test and for the exam itself. But like any certificate in education, there is a fee for that. Rian, what does it cost for you guys in Indonesia to sit the exam in your money? What does it cost roughly?
In my country, it's about 3 or 5 Indonesian rupiah. Let me change it into the USD. Wait a minute, because I don't know 3 or 5 million Indonesian rupiah to USD. So actually, it's about wait a minute. Oh, it's about 195 US dollar.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it is expensive. Here it's about the same. It's about 220 in England.
I see. So it's a little
So
bit.
yeah, unfortunately they're charging the same price to you guys in Indonesia, which is it's unfortunate that the company does not charge a cheaper price, which will be a lot fairer. You're paying pretty much the same as we do here in England for it.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So why is it expensive? It's expensive because the company are charging that for an international certificate. But I do agree with you; it could be cheaper. Christy said, "Thank you for the question. How to improve listening, speaking, and writing section? Which section needs to practice first? Listening, speaking, or writing first?" So, which section should you practice first? That depends a lot on you. Some people are stronger at speaking and they like to speak English, so maybe they should begin with that because it's what they are stronger at. Some people are better at writing and they will perhaps prefer to begin with that. I think if you're studying IELTS, you need to keep a balance between all 4 skills: listening, reading, writing, speaking. You can't focus on one and not do well on the others because you won't get a balanced result. You won't get overall the high result that you deserve. So some students, they focus on one thing and they will get 3 or 4 in IELTS. But if you want to get higher, you have to balance between all of them. You cannot avoid writing because you don't like writing, or speaking because you don't like speaking, etc. How could you practice while you are at home now? Well, there's a few things you can do. Every time you watch a program in English, you put the subtitles in English so that you can read and see at the same time as you listen. You should listen to English radio or podcasts at least every week so that you get used to the sound, even if you don't understand. And you should read different texts in English, perhaps a fiction text, an online newspaper, a magazine, different type of text, something about history, something about geography, something about entertainment, not just one topic. Some students choose one area to study. They like this area and they don't know vocabulary or language from any other area in English. Over to you, Banu. Rian.
Okay, may I translate it?
Yes.
Oke, jadi teman-teman, kata Mr. Edi tadi, kalau teman-teman mau belajar IELTS, itu nggak bisa satu titik aja, jadi harus seimbang antara speaking, writing, listening, readingnya. Terus gimana sih cara belajarnya? Ada banyak. Mungkin teman-teman bisa mendengarkan semua film dalam bahasa Inggris, subtitle bahasa Inggris, kemudian cari main game mungkin ya itu pakai bahasa Inggris, karena ya tadi itu akan menjadi habit ya. Jadi teman-teman banyakin apa-apa tuh pakai bahasa Inggris semua gitu ya. Karena nanti kalau teman-teman udah terbiasa belajar bahasa Inggris, nanti pakai subtitle bahasa Inggris dan segalanya, nanti teman akan jadi terbiasa ya, khususnya bagian listening tadi. Oke.
Okay, next question. How hard is it to study for IELTS? I want to study, but I'm still unsure. Thank you, Cecilia, for the question. How hard is it? It's a hard exam if you need a high mark. Not everybody needs 8 or 9. Not everybody needs a top mark. Some universities, they will take a 5.5 or a 6. Some schools will take a 5.5 or a 6. Some jobs will require 5.5 or 6. So it depends on where you're going, what you're studying. Not everybody needs a top mark. You whatever mark you need, you work towards that. You can always resit the exam afterwards and push your mark even further up. Okay. So to answer you, Cecilia, it's a hard test, but it does depend on the level that you need to reach. It does depend on your goals, and it is better to start sooner rather than putting it off and not starting. It's better to start studying now to prepare yourself.
Oke, jadi kata Mr. Edi tadi, seberapa sulit sih? Sulit kalau teman-teman tujuannya juga yang tinggi ya. Nah, jadi sesuaikan aja. Where are you going? Kata Mr. Edi tadi. Tergantung kalian mau kemana nih. Karena semua nggak butuh nilai 8 ya guys. Not everybody need 8. Nggak butuh 8. Karena susah dapetin 8 itu guys. Jadi tergantung tujuannya. Contohnya kayak tadi kan teman-teman pengen, aku pengen S2 dalam negeri aja, ya udah 6,5 aja. Aku pengen ke Australia, ya udah 6,5 7 gitu loh. Karena 7,5 setauku itu ya guys itu buat ke Oxford biasanya. Atau kalau 8 semisal itu buat kerja yang agak apa ya? Kerja sebagai akademisi atau S3 semisal. Jadi tergantung tujuannya. Kalau tujuannya cuma S2 ya udah targetnya ya 6,5 sampai 7. Jadi tergantung. Dan kata Mr. Edi tadi, better start ya sooner. Maksudnya mending mulai sekarang guys daripada nanti mulainya nanti-nanti. Seperti itu.
Okay, the next question is from Sylvia. Thanks, Sylvia. Hi, Mister. Based on your experience, what advice would you give to beginners preparing for IELTS with the goal of securing a scholarship for a PhD program abroad or working abroad? So, if your goal is to get a scholarship or working abroad, my advice to you, get to know the IELTS exam paper. After this call, download the IELTS exam paper. You need to know what it looks like. You need to know how many questions there are. You need to see how challenging it can be, but get used to the paper. It's not a good idea to study, and never see the paper. If you do our online course, we introduce you to the paper from the first couple of weeks. You need to see the paper and you need to understand what you're working towards. It's very important to go online and download IELTS papers for free so you can see what they will ask you to do. Thank you, Adrian.
Oke, sure. Oke, jadi teman-teman itu harus get to know IELTS exam paper first. Jadi teman-teman harus tahu dulu nih IELTS, kertas IELTS itu seperti apa, ujiannya seperti apa gitu. Download langsung kan banyak ya di Google ya, mungkin tes-tes IELTS, mock-up test yang gratisan gitu. Nah, teman-teman harus tahu dulu berapa banyak pertanyaannya, tipe soalnya seperti apa, dan kelebihan online itu teman-teman bisa diakses dimanapun. Nah, jadi mulai sekarang tuh cari tahu dulu gitu loh, IELTS itu apa, tesnya apa, tipe soalnya seperti apa, kan ada 4 ya, listening, speaking, reading tuh seperti apa formatnya. Jadi teman-teman nggak pusing. Jadi walaupun teman-teman masih pemula, at least teman-teman ada gambaran, oh tes IELTS itu seperti ini. Nah, kurang lebih seperti itu.
Okay, regarding the next question from Cindy Akala, we know that there are many different accents in English. I want to ask about the British and American accent. Is there any big difference? Which is easier? So, we teach here British English. Okay, that's because we're a British school and all of our teachers are British native teachers. But we are aware of the American accent and American language, and we do cover that in part as part of the program. A lot of American English has mixed with the British English today and vice versa. So there is no question of which is easier. They are both the same in terms of difficulty. It's just a question of your personal choice and also whether you wish to work and live and study in Europe or in America. That's something to think about.
Oke, nah jadi di tempat Mr. Edi ini karena British School, jadi teman-teman beliau ini pakai kebanyakan British native speaker ya. Nah, kalau ditanya yang mana yang lebih sulit, itu sama-sama sulit ya guys. Jadi nggak ada yang lebih mudah, apakah American British enggak, itu sama-sama sulit. Jadi ya tergantung teman-teman mau belajarnya yang mana gitu. Karena tes IELTS juga nggak nguji IELTS apa British atau Amerikannya, kecuali listeningnya itu baru teruji untuk listeningnya gitu.
So the next question is from M. Ramadani. It says, excuse me, sir, I would like to ask, why are there 2 major English tests, IELTS, TOEFL? Why isn't there one standardized test? Well, simply because we are not living in one world with one company running everything. There are many companies, many education boards, many different tests and systems. There are, in fact, more than IELTS and TOEFL out there, but IELTS is the most famous one around the world today. 20 years ago, it was different. But today, IELTS is the one that is number 1 in terms of recognized. So it's like talking about fast food. Why do we have KFC, Burger King, McDonald's, and so many other fast food places? Different companies, different choices, different systems, different options. So the IELTS test is the most recognized today, and they are the most widespread as well. The IELTS test is available all over the world as well. But it's a good question. Why are there two? There are many different tests out there. IELTS is the most popular and recognized today.
Oke, nah jadi teman-teman banyak company ya, banyak banget perusahaan itu yang sebagai penyelenggara tes ya, contohnya kayak PTE, IELTS, TOEFL sebagainya. Nah, tapi yang paling terkenal, the most famous itu adalah IELTS. Mungkin 20 tahun yang lalu, Mr. Edward bilang berbeda, mungkin 20 tahun yang lalu mungkin TOEFL. Nah, sekarang IELTS becomes the number one. Jadi sekarang tuh IELTS nomor satu. Teman-teman pasti tahu ya, les IELTS itu udah di mana-mana. Kemudian mau daftar S2 LPDP ke luar negeri, S1 ke luar negeri LPDP juga beasiswa Garuda juga butuh IELTS. Nah, jadi sama kayak halnya kayak fast food ya guys. Nah, mungkin kayak KFC itu kan ada different company, different choice and different option. Jadi kalau teman-teman beli fast food kan ada KFC, ada McD, ada Pizza Hut misal. Nah, sama dengan IELTS sama TOEFL tadi. Beda perusahaan ya, beda penyelenggaranya. Tapi IELTS ini the most widespread. Jadi IELTS itu yang paling luas, paling terkenal lah, nomor satu di dunia untuk yang sekarang ini. Jadi itulah sedikit perbedaannya antara IELTS dan TOEFL.
All right, so I'll go through a few more questions here. Somebody asked what major should they choose if they are confused. Your major is a very personal choice. Maybe talk to your family about it. Do try to do something that you feel is something that you are good at, that you will enjoy learning, so that you don't become stuck in a course that you will hate when you're older. Try to choose something that will be good for you, will be good for your career, but it's something that you are good at doing and that you enjoy, that you want to learn more about. That's what I would say about that.
Oke, jadi teman-teman ini agak personal ya. Nah, jadi teman-teman kalau kata Mr. Edi, tergantung teman-teman apa yang teman-teman suka, what you enjoy. Nah, terus apa yang terbaik buat teman-teman, good for you and good for your career. Jadi apa yang bagus buat karir teman-teman. Jadi kalau misalnya ditanya jurusan apa yang bagus ya, teman-teman pilih aja jurusan yang teman-teman enjoy, jurusan yang teman-teman suka, dan jurusan yang bagus buat karir teman-teman. Kalau teman-teman memang hobinya ngegambar itu jadi pelukis, teman-teman suka nulis jadi penulis, teman-teman suka ini ya udah sesuaikan. Yang penting itu bagus juga buat karir teman-teman ke depannya, seperti itu.
Okay, so then to look at, we have a lot of questions in, so I'm going to answer a few questions together. People are asking about how to speak confidently, accent, fluency, etc., how to sound natural, Dimas as well. Really and truly, it takes time, it takes practice. You cannot do it on your own. You will need help from English speakers. You will need to be using English as much as possible. It is more difficult when you're in a country where it is not your first language or where you don't have the access to English friends to speak every day. So, what can you do? You can listen to podcasts online. You can watch YouTube pronunciation videos. You can take videos, pause them, repeat the pronunciation yourself, record yourself, play yourself back. There are many techniques and tips that you can do as part of that. One of our jobs to teach you as part of our online course is to give you skills to develop at home. We don't just teach you what's in the class, we teach you how to do things on your own afterwards so that you can continue the journey with English after your online course is finished.
Oke, jadi teman-teman kata Mr. Edi, gimana sih cara biar pede ngomong gitu kan? Nah, yang pertama it takes time teman-teman, gak singkat. Jadi butuh makan banyak waktu ya. Ada yang 6 bulan, setahun semisal. Dan it takes practice. Jadi butuh latihan juga teman-teman, gak bisa langsung tiba-tiba jago gitu. Yang gak ada. Jadi sejarahnya belajar bahasa itu butuh latihan dan it needs English speaker. Nah, ini yang paling penting. Jadi teman-teman butuh teman latihan, khususnya mungkin dengan native atau mungkin dengan orang yang memang jago ngomong bahasa Inggris gitu ya. Jadi mau nggak mau memang harus masuk kursus ya. Nah, dan ingat Indonesia itu kan bukan bahasa pertama kita kan, yang mana itu jadi kendala. Nah, makanya teman-teman bisa dengerin podcast secara online, bisa record yourself. Jadi teman-teman itu nge-record suara teman-teman sendiri terus didengerin lagi gitu. Nah, kemudian di sini nggak cuma ngajarin bahasa Inggris tapi skill to develop. Jadi teman-teman setelah belajar di ISIN tuh akan diarahkan, aku hobinya ini ya udah nanti coba ambil ke sini. Nah, itu kan butuh sertifikat IELTS kan, butuh sertifikat bahasa Inggris. Nanti diarahkan seperti itu.
Okay, and the last question is in about struggling to speak, etc. Everybody, including myself, when we speak another language, it's difficult. We have to translate in our head. it can be challenging, especially if you have not had a lot of practice. So don't feel bad about your situation. Don't feel that you are bad at it. If you are not exposed to it every day, if you don't speak it every day, of course it's going to be difficult for you to speak naturally and to remember what to say. What happens when you are around English speakers, when you are studying English a lot, is that it becomes easier quite naturally. You hear English every week, you speak it every week, and slowly, 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 you start to become more fluent and more aware of it. So don't feel bad, because that's the situation with everybody who speaks foreign languages. I speak other languages, some I am better at than others, and that's something that we all experience, all right?
Oke, nah jadi teman-teman nggak usah ngerasa sedih gitu ya kalau kita memang ngerasa kesulitan belajar bahasa. Karena yang tadi kan kita masuk ke kepala kita kan. Nah, itu nggak langsung harus mentranslate dulu kan. Kayak kita ngomong bahasa Indonesia cepet ya karena nggak perlu ditranslate. Nah, kalau bahasa Inggris atau bahasa asing kita translate dulu. Nah, jadi misalnya tadi bilang don't feel bad about your situation. Jadi teman-teman nggak usah ngerasa bersalah kayak aduh aku bahasa Inggrisku jelek, jangan mikir gitu. Jadi teman-teman harus pede gitu. Karena itu yang terjadi oleh every foreign situation. Kata Mr. Edi tadi itu bilang kalau semua orang native itu juga semua orang asing belajar bahasa asing juga ngerasa kayak gitu. Jadi kayak memang bukan bahasa asing kita jadi pusing gitu ya. Nah, tapi teman-teman kalau belajar langsung dengan native, nah nanti slowly you will become more fluent. Teman-teman akan lancar nanti dengan sendirinya. Kenapa? Because you will listen every single day. Teman-teman akan dengerin langsung nih orang native ngomong tiap hari. Nah, sama kayak teman-teman tadi kan bingung nih, bisa jadi kecepatan karena jarang aja dengerin gitu loh. Kalau saya karena memang sering dengerin orang British ngomong dan memang asli British, makanya terbiasa. Nah, seperti itu.
Okay, so I'll do two more questions here.
Okay, sure.
Zenetta asked, it's a good question. What do you do if your mind goes blank? If you cannot speak, your mind goes blank. Well, that happens all of us. It happens me in work. It happens me in meetings. It happens me when I'm teaching, and it happens me when I travel and I have to speak other languages. What can you do when your mind goes blank? Smile, nod, say yes. That's what I usually do if I don't understand what's going on, and most people do that as well. But really and truly, if your mind goes blank, just ask somebody, give me a moment, please, or repeat, please. There's no problem. You have to explain to somebody sometimes to remind them that it's not your first language. That's your job to do, because they will not always be thinking about your situation. So you remind them, it's not my first language. Give me a moment. I'm having a little fog in my brain.
Oke, nah jadi
People
teman-teman.
will help you then.
Oke, thank you. Kayak kata Mr. Edi tadi, kalau teman-teman ngeblank gitu ya, kalau ngomong tiba-tiba, aduh, ini ngomong apa nih, nggak tahu lagi. Nah, kalau teman-teman ngerasa ngeblank tadi, Mr. Edi juga bilang, it happens ketika Mr. Edi kerja, ketika Mr. Edi meeting, bahkan ketika ngaji itu juga pernah. Nah, jadi apa yang kita lakukan? Ya senyum aja, smile, kemudian bilang minta diulangin, repeat the question maybe, mungkin minta ulangi gitu. Tadi ngomong apa ya? Nah, mungkin kalau teman-teman di situasi itu bisa ngomong gini, mohon maaf tadi ngomong apa ya? Kalau teman-teman ngomong sama native, I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? Nah, contohnya kayak gitu. Teman-teman bilang aja kayak gitu nggak apa-apa. Dan remind them, teman-teman ingatin, jangan sok pede gitu, sok-sok ngerti ini ngomong apa tadi, aku nggak paham. Nah, jangan. Jadi harus belajar nerima gitu loh. Kalau kita memang bukan native speaker kan. Jadi hal yang wajar kalau kita ngeblank karena itu adalah hal yang semua orang alami di dunia ini. Oke.
Okay, so the course that we're running, it's called IELTS Exam Prep Step by Step to Your Target Band. That means we take you step by step through the paper, through every section, until we take you to the band that you need to reach. So we would be running the course for different levels of IELTS. Some people may need to achieve a 5, some people may need to achieve a 7. Some people are beginners, some people are intermediate, but the key thing is step by step. So, all of you who have questions and who are maybe worried about this exam or stressed about it, don't be. The only way to make something less stressful is to break it into little pieces. That's the only good way to progress. You have to do things step by step, break it into pieces. That's what our online classes are designed to do. And if you're not sure whether the classes are for you or not, come along to the first class, see if it's for you, how you feel in it, etc. So I would suggest we can stay in touch on WhatsApp, organize classes for people who are interested. We will give the first week's class for free so that people can see what the class is like. Okay, so don't worry. Like Fazan said, if you're not sure if it's for you, come to the class and see. We'll give the first classes for free so you can test the first class.
Oke, nah ini keren banget nih guys. Nah kata Mr. Edi tadi, teman-teman kalau belajar di ISI itu step by step to your target band. Jadi nggak langsung nih tiba-tiba IELTS-nya 8 nggak. Jadi step by step. Jadi teman-teman semisal aku kayaknya masih basic sir, nah mungkin nanti ditaruh di band 3, 4 gitu ya. Nanti step by step sampai tujuan teman-teman. Teman-teman pengen IELTS-nya 6,5, nah nanti dituntun sama Mr. Edi dan kawan-kawan gitu ya. Dengan beberapa apa ya different IELTS level, dengan beberapa level IELTS yang berbeda. Nah jadi kalau banyak yang takut exam gitu, nah don't be stress. Jadi teman-teman jangan stres gitu. Misal tuh aku takut nih IELTS nilai aku berat, itu jangan takut. Karena teman-teman akan dibimbing dan langsung nanti dikasih placement test kan. Jadi tahu nih, oh kayaknya aku di band ini deh. Nah makanya tadi dibilang oleh Mr. Edi, step by step break into pieces. Jadi memang step by step gitu ya guys, dan dipecah gitu, nggak langsung tiba-tiba jago nggak. Nanti ada kelas yang khusus beginners misal. Nah jadi teman-teman nanti coba aja kelas ini, how you feel, teman-teman rasakan nanti, wah kayaknya asik nih, aduh kayaknya aku tegang nanti. Dan ini yang paling penting, ini juga baru ya. Ini tadi Mr. Edi bilang first week for free. Jadi nanti akan gratis selama 1 minggu pertama. Teman-teman bisa nyoba nih, untuk kelas pertamanya biar teman-teman dapat first impression. Nah, supaya teman-teman bisa memikirkan apakah lanjut atau enggak. Nah, nanti akan di-organize oleh Mr. Edi, oleh saya ya, di grup nanti seperti itu, di grup WhatsApp.
Okay, so last question. Somebody asked about they're a lawyer. Is it good for their profession or not? IELTS is excellent for your profession, especially if you wish to work with English clients, or you wish to work online with English clients, or you wish to move to another country and apply for a job there. IELTS, if you ever work in an English speaking country or you need a visa to work in an English speaking country, IELTS is an excellent addition to your application. It makes the application process much easier when you have a good IELTS result. That's for sure.
Oke, jadi teman-teman tadi ada yang nanya tentang ada yang jadi pengacara. Bagus gak sih ngambil IELTS? Jawabannya bagus, khususnya kalau teman-teman itu pengen ngambil klien orang Inggris ya, atau ngambil klien orang luar negeri. Nah, dan itu juga buat kualifikasi teman-teman. Anyway, jujur kalau teman-teman pengen kerja ke luar negeri itu pasti diminta IELTS-nya. Mungkin nggak tinggi, tapi kalau teman-teman pengen kerja sama dengan perusahaan atau korporat luar negeri, itu butuh IELTS guys. Mungkin dimintanya mungkin ya 6,5 atau berapa gitu ya, atau mungkin bahkan di bawah 6,5. Karena IELTS itu jadi kualifikasi sama kayak WHV ya. Teman-teman kan mau ke luar negeri butuh IELTS buat jalur utama gitu ya. The first requirement ya IELTS gitu. Jadi tetap dibutuhkan. Apalagi kalau teman-teman pengen kerja di perusahaan luar negeri gitu kata Mr. Edi tadi.
Okay, so Rian, I think we leave it there. And everybody, we are connected on WhatsApp. We will set up a date for the first classes to begin. Okay, that will be probably the end of July. And you are welcome to try the first class for free. We also have a discount code just for you guys because you're coming through Rian, and we agreed that. So you will get a discount code as well. So you can try it out and see. And I promise you, if you need IELTS, if you seriously need it for work or for your career or for college, then we will be able to take you through it step by step online every week until you achieve the result that you need. All right?
Oke, sure. Jadi teman-teman, kata Mr. Edi tadi, nanti kita ada di grup WhatsApp, teman jangan keluar ya dari grup itu. Nanti kita akan organize di akhir Juli, in the end of July, nanti akan ada kelas pertama. Nah, nanti ada first-nya yang free ya untuk di minggu pertamanya. Jadi teman-teman bisa nyoba dulu. Dan kalau teman-teman daftar pakai kode English Banua, nanti saya kirim di grup ya, itu bisa dapat potongan diskon ya. Karena English Banua kerjasama dengan Express English College ya. Nanti teman-teman akan dituntun step by step-nya dari awal belajar IELTS sampai target teman-teman. Misal targetnya 6, 7 ya, supaya teman-teman tadi bisa melanjutkan karir teman-teman.
Okay, so listen, that's it from me. Thank you so much for coming. I'm delighted to see so many people here. Thank you all for your messages, questions, and a big thank you, Rian, for translating. I appreciate it. Nice one. Thank you.
Oke, my pleasure, sir. Oke, begitu aja ya guys dari kita, dari tim English Banua dan dari EEC. Makasih banyak teman-teman yang udah hadir ya semuanya. Ini udah hampir 100 tadi ya, sudah 5 orang. Dan harapannya nanti teman-teman bisa daftar dan bisa ngobrol sama Mr. Edi di grup ya. Oke. Oke, sir. Thanks so much ya for having
Thank you, guys.
Oke.
Have a nice weekend. Thanks, Rian.
Oke, thank you.
We'll stay in touch. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Nice to meet you guys too. Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome. Thank you for the messages. Zanetta, Nadja, thank you guys.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.